Gary Ridgway. So Gary Leon Ridgway was born February 18th, 1949, also known as the Green River Killer. He is an American serial killer, and he was initially convicted of 48 separate murders. And as part of his plea bargain, another conviction was added, bringing the total number of convictions to 49, making him the second most profile serial killer in the United States history. He was born February 18th, 1949. He had 49 convictions, confessed to 71, and he killed in the states of Washington and Oregon. Most of Ridgway's victims were alleged to be sex workers and other women in vulnerable circumstances, including underage runaways. The press gave him the nickname after the first 5 victims were found in the Green River before his identity was known. He strangled his victims, usually by hand, but sometimes using other tools. After strangling them, he would dump their bodies in the forest and overgrown areas in King County, often returning the bodies to have sexual intercourse with them later. So he graduated from high school in 1969 and married his 19-year-old girlfriend. He joined the United States Navy and was sent to Vietnam, where he served on board a supply ship. During his time in the military, Ridgway had frequently sexual intercourse with sex workers and contracted gonorrhea. So basically, you know, he was the type of guy.
This guy got gonorrhea.
Yeah, he got gonorrhea. He was pretty much, he was a sex fiend. He would have urges that he couldn't control. So throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Ridgway is believed to have murdered at least 71 teenage girls. Women near Seattle and Tacoma, Washington. Ridgway later reported that he had killed so many that he had lost count. The victims were either believed to be sex workers or runaways that he would pick up along the Pacific Highway South. He sometimes showed the women a picture of his son to trick them into trusting him. They would engage in sexual activity, and after minutes of intercourse, Ridgway would wrap his forearms from around their neck and use the other arm to pull back as tightly as he could, strangling them. He killed most of the victims in his home, his truck, or a secluded area. Most of their bodies were dumped in wooded areas. There were also 2 confirmed and another 2 suspected that were found in Portland, Oregon. So his victims, he had 49 victims. Number 1 was Wendy Lee. She was 16. Gilles Ann. She was 17. Deborah Lynn was 23. And it goes on and on and on, all the way to the 49th unidentified female victim, which was in 1973 to 1993, when she supposedly died. He was suspected of killing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more.
And this was his son, Matthew Ridgway.
So his early life, I guess he had a bedwetting problem until he was 13, and his mother would wash his genitals after every episode and later tell the defense psychologist that he was an idiot. He had conflicting feelings and anger towards his mother and actually fantasized about killing her. He was dyslexic and he was held back in high school when he was 16. He stabbed a 6-year-old boy who survived the attack. Ridgway had left the boy into the woods and then stabbed him through the ribs into his liver. Ridgway was placed in solitary confinement at Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla in January 2004. He pled guilty to 48 charges of aggravated first-degree murder as part of a plea bargain agreed in June that he would spare him execution in exchange for his cooperation in locating the remains of his victims and providing other details. Ridgway explained that he had killed all of his victims inside King County, Washington, and that he had transported and dumped them in remains. He told Portland police that he would have gone forward with 7 more, but that's all he had ever hoped for. At the end of the trial, whatever the outcome would have been, he just wanted to bring the truth in the end. Ridgway led prosecutors to 3 bodies in 2003. On August 16th of that year, the remains of a 16-year-old girl was found in Washington, 40 feet from Route 410. Supposedly, it was the body of Pammy Avant, who had been believed to be a victim of the Green River Killer. The remains of Mallory and April were found in September 2003. Tracy Winston, who was 19 when she disappeared from Northgate Mall on September 12, 1983, was found November 20th, 2005 by a man hiking in a wooded area near Highway 18 of Seattle. Ridgway confessed to more confirmed murders than any other American serial killer. Over a period of 5 months, the police and prosecutors began to release video records of Ridgway's confession. In one taped interview, he told investigators that he was responsible for the death of 65 women. But in another taped interview, he said he had claimed to kill 71 victims and confessed to having sex with them before killing them.
That's bad. That's harsh.
So there you go, guys. That is the story of Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
Also known as the Green River Killer.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode today, and there will be more videos to come. And don't forget to
like and subscribe.
and we will catch you guys on the next one.